Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update this channel daily. If you like this watch, you can see it and the entire 2018 Breitling Premier collection at our flagship Govberg store on Walnut Street, Center City, Philadelphia. The timepiece on my wrist is the flagship of the 2018 Breitling Premier Collection. An October launch, it represents the land timepiece to complement the air aspect of the Navitimer and the seafaring features and functions of the super oceans. So you will note that the Breitling Premier B01 Chronograph 42, as this watch is known, is true to its name. 42 millimeters in diameter on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. It's a full-sized watch, but not an oversized watch. The ungainly case sizes are mostly, not completely, but mostly gone from the Breitling catalog. The watch is slightly thinner than its 7750 powered counterpart, the Chronograph 42. That's 13.9, this is 13.8, so it'll fit underneath any jacket cuff, jacket, dress jacket, sports jacket, blazer, you're good to go. Lug to lug, it's a large watch at 49.9 millimeters. It does expand a bit with the solid end links of the bracelet at 54.1, but I still rate the watch as an excellent fit for wrists as small as 14.5 centimeters circumference because of the curvature of the case, the less brutal lug profiles, and the ability to pull the bracelet down almost directly around the tight curve of a small wrist. There's no fight or flare. The hinging of the end link allows you to pull that bracelet around a smaller wrist, so the fit is excellent. You'll also note the draped taper and camber of the case, so it wraps these lugs around your wrist rather than flaring out dramatically like previous Breitling case profiles did. We'll get a little bit closer now. Appreciate the bracelet. All in high polish on its top, satin finished on its flanks. It's in the image of the 7-link Navitimer bracelets. The Pilot bracelet from Breitling is the 5-link. The Navitimer is the 7-link, and that's exactly what we've got here. You will note sizing screws, no pin sleeves here, big gaps on the underside to ventilate the wrist as well as to avoid pinching skin or pulling hair. The clasp is quite secure, single fold deployant, robust sports style clasp with a clamshell lock. If you go inside the clasp, you see one of its undersold features. Let me try to get a full shot of the interior of the clasp, showing the different anchoring points that you can access for the bracelet using a strap tool. So though you do have sizable links, you also have the ability to move the bracelet horizontally through those different apertures and slots. The 4 anchoring points giving you some field adjustability without actually removing or adding components to the bracelet. Now the timepiece does feature a handsome set of conforming end links that nicely integrate the bracelet into the lines of the case and the lugs. As promised, George Kern has reduced the size of Breitling lugs so that big watches don't wear huge and huge watches don't become unwearable. Well, this isn't a huge watch, it's a big watch. Large but nicely proportioned. It blends judiciously satin finish as well as polish, hard creases or straight lines, and bevels. You will note the flank of the case, evocative of that mid-century period of the study houses when modernism became mainstream and you started to see it on everything from toasters to diners. Well, the Breitling Premier was of that era, the 1940s and 1950s, a period of optimism after Art Deco, but in the wake of World War II, when some of those design forms were still current and finding their way again into everyday life, and that's what this watch evokes. You can see rectangular pushers, both polished and satin finished on different faces, nice detailing, more handsome detailing, the deeply knurled crown that is designed specifically for the Premier collection and exclusive to the Premiers. The gadron style bezel double stepped, transitioning to a box section sapphire. We'll afford ourselves a bit better focus and more light. The box section sapphire helping to evoke some of the domed profile and off-axis distortion of a mid-century plexiglas as you would have seen on the original Premiers. The dial is quite rich. There's a anthracite, or one might say gray-black, tachymeter outboard for gauging the speed of an object over a fixed distance, such as a standing kilometer. But the important thing about it is not just that it's tone-on-tone, but that it is slightly raised above the center dial, adding a depth effect. All of the indices are hollowed and applied, and they have a rich appearance, not being printed, but having 3 dimensions as well as polished luster. Twin register design, once again vintage evocative, date anchoring the dial at 6 o'clock, probably the best place for it. And you will note tone-on-tone registers. Today, if you see tone-on-tone registers on a Breitling chronograph, George Kern wants you to think in-house caliber, and indeed that's what we have with this watch. Underneath the case back, which is a sapphire display case back, a notable break with previous practice. You can see Breitling's caliber B01. Since 2009, the in-house movement made by Breitling, a company with a significant history of chronograph design. Let's see how close we can get. You will note nicely finished combination of Geneva stripes as well as polished levers and horns, as well as column wheel. It has all the modern standards. Automatic winding, 70-hour power reserve, 28.8 beat rate, hacking seconds, quick set date, COSC certified Swiss chronometer, and you can see we're going to activate the levers and horns of the column wheel system so you can watch the chronograph engaging and disengaging and appreciate that for which you've paid. 47 joules, COSC certified, and 100 meters water resistant in spite of the display case back. A sophisticated modern watch, evocative of the best of the mid-century, old and new together in the Breitling Premier B01 Chronograph 42. See it and make it yours at our Walnut Street, Philadelphia location. The Breitling Premier B01 Chronograph 42. See it by the light of day at our Center City, Philadelphia store.